Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it.
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. And take over starts at the root, and the truth may be hard to swallow. Step one, self-love above anything else. A lot of peace and happiness.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to At the Root of It. My name is Shannon, and on tonight's show, we have a very interesting topic. We are still at it on the singles series because guess what? I think that there's so much to talk about and there's so much to uncover and to unwrap that I think that this can keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. I don't know about you guys, but I believe so. That I believe that it can keep going and keep going and keep going because there's so much to learn, especially as a single woman and a single man out here trying to figure it out. So, as we do every day, every Sunday, our mission statement is to create a community of both men and women who are on a journey of self-love and self-healing. Okay. We also recommend therapy because a lot of times we don't want to address the things that are hindering us from growing into our fullest potential. And sometimes we need to sit down and talk to people. We also reference biblical references because that's my faith. I don't force it on anybody, but the biblical principles just align with the things that we're talking about on each show. And today, I want to introduce to you guys, I said that she was going to be here last week. Wait, before we do that, grab your devices and please share. I'm about to share now. I want to get it out because what is the level of your care in a relationship? Do you care? Can you care as deeply as you want to be cared for? What's your love language? It still boils down to your love language, and if you're even able to love your spouse or your soon-to-be spouse in the way that they deserve and need to be loved. So, like I said, before we get into all of that, let's just share. I'm sharing now. So, I'm gonna turn it down. I knew that. I forgot that I didn't turn it down. But I'm sharing now. I'm sharing in my groups. I'm sharing online because I really believe that there's people who need to know about this subject. All right. So we're going to share. I'm sharing, you guys, sharing. Share. Y'all can hear it. I don't care though, because I'm sharing. Hi, everybody. Let me know who's on. Let me know who's on so we can give y'all kudos tonight. And I'm also going to share on my regular page as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. All right. And now I am done. Hey. Hello. Hey, Sabrina. I love that. Hey, Janae. Thank you so much, Janae. Thank you for tuning in, you guys. Thank you. So tonight I have one of my special guests on. She was supposed to be on last week, but She was traveling, but I gave her this long, drawn out introduction. So I'm going to do it again because now she's here and now we can actually talk about it. So this young lady that I'm about to bring on is a dear, dear, dear sister friend of mine. We've known each other since about, I want to say 2003. And it was from the word hello that we really connected and we bonded together. She was there at the most crucial times in my life. When I needed a shoulder to cry on, she was there to hold me back from fighting. I mean, it was a lot of stuff, you know, and it was a lot of stuff, but she was there. She was my conscience. A lot of times I didn't listen to her, but she was always that one that would say, "Hey, sis, I don't think you should do that." And I'd be like, "Too late," you know. But you always need somebody in your corner who's able to tell you the things that you're doing wrong, and so that they can help you to do right. You know what I mean? You need people in there that'll speak life into your life. And this is one of the women in my life that speaks life into my life. She's also been married for 13 years, and she brings another aspect of marriage to the table, right? And so, you know, she brings a different perspective, because so many of the wives that I've spoken to since we started the Singles Club have brought a different flavor to the broadcast. And that's because everybody's experiences are different, and people learn at different levels. But the whole meaning of At the Root of It is to learn to get a different perspective, a different vantage point that you may not have looked at before, that could possibly help you in the future to change the trajectory, to change the narrative of what we're actually dealing with in this data season. So I am going to present to some and introduce to others none other than my sister friend, Miss Cynthia Bowden. So we're gonna, I don't have no hand claps, so I'm gonna get them. We're gonna ring the bell on her and we're gonna bring her in. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming in. Thank you for being here. Oh. Hello, Cynthia. Hello, hello.
Hey,
so, how are you? Thank you for gracing us with your presence tonight. I am so very, very honored to have you on At the Root of It tonight. So, before we go into anything, I would like you to introduce yourself. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself, okay? And I'm gonna go off screen so that you can have the floor.
Well, greetings all. I would first like to give thanks to God, who is definitely the master of my life. I am Cynthia Bowden. I am a mother. I am a wife of 13 years. To my the king of my household is Robert Bowden, Robert Busy Bowden. I am a sister friend of the sister. We met at the right time to help each other. And I am grateful to God for bringing my circle of sisters, because through the years, I've not only helped her, she's helped me. And I'm grateful for that. And I am glad to be here to share my perspective on marriage, on relationships, on situationships, because, you know, I've seen life and I've learned from it. And it's a pleasure to actually get to share with the public my views and my opinions. So that is Cynthia.
That is Cynthia, you guys, and she's awesome sauce. She's the one that's gonna bring the realness to you in such a way. Tifa be like, she's gonna come with her Maya Angelou, Shannon, you know, because we're all sister friends. Dee, Tifa, Cynthia, yes. Leslie, like we have a little sister group that, you know, that we're really close, but you know. And she said that she was married for 13 years. And I remember when she was preparing herself for marriage, okay? So I want to really bring that up, because a lot of people don't really think that they have to prepare for marriage or prepare themselves to even think about getting married. And so I remember her getting her stuff together, right? And I didn't know how she did it. There was a real big issue. I was like, how you what? You did what? And it was because, when you know what you battle, all right, because I have a friend, a guy that I used to go to church with out here, and he did a broadcast. And this is stuff that nobody really ever talk about on, especially if you're a Christian, right? But he did a broadcast the other week and he said, holy and horny. And, he was talking some real stuff. I'm going to actually have him on the show because I was like, can you come and talk? Because it's the realness of it, right? And so at that time, 13 years ago, when she said what she said, and I still wasn't listening up until like recently, and now, this is transparency at its finest, right? But she told me something, right? And what did you tell me, sis? Let the people know what you told me.
Well, I'm going to start by saying the late, great Bishop Michael V. Talbert, Sr., he told me when I was that crying single woman, like, I want to get married, I want to be in love, he told me, he said, well, prepare yourself. So I'm like, oh, is it that simple? I had to first learn who Cynthia was. And I think that's the biggest obstacle that most women choose to not go through, is to learn who they are. And for me, I was using sex as, oh, they love me. Oh, we having sex, they love me. So if they love me, then the potential of them wanting to marry me is there.
Big. Right.
So my chances are great. But then I realized that was not the truth. I had to bump my head a couple of times. I had to cry about it often. And then I said to myself, I said, you know what? I'm going to be celibate. Now, in that journey of celibacy, or let me, there are some people who are out now who say, well, you really weren't celibate. You were, a whole other thing. But I refrained from having sex with a man during that time, and no woman, because I am who I am. But I refrained from having sex because I needed to get my mind right. My mind needed to be able to differentiate between what's love and what is like, what's real and what is not. And see, that made me have to tell myself the hard truths about me, is that I was yearning for someone to love me, someone to touch my mind and my body. And in order to do that, there's some steps to it. There's some levels to letting these people into your life, letting them into your mind, letting them into your body. We were talking earlier and we talked about soulmates, and everybody's biggest dream is that, oh, I want to find my soulmate. But everyone that we allow to touch our insides is touching a piece of our soul. So, I was creating these soulmates, but they were empty. There was nothing there for it. So in order to get my mind right, I had to prepare my mind. I refrained from having sex. I was working on my credit. I was working on making Cynthia someone who was worthy of, let me get married to somebody. He could take care of me. We can have, we can buy ourselves a house, picket fence, 2.2 children and a dog.
Right.
But in order to be a dime, and instead of me asking for a dime, this guy's got to be a dime. He's got to have his own job. He's got to have his own money. He has to bring his own car, and he has to wine and dine me. I had to be somebody worthy of a dime. I had to be something too. I can't come to somebody a 2 and expect to get someone who's a 10. Because then I'm doing them a disservice. So part of my preparation was refraining from sex. Part of my preparation was fixing my credit. Part of my preparation was fixing my mind to understand what it is that I wanted, and being upfront to ask for it upfront. We get into these relationships and we don't ask the right questions. We're asking them, oh, what makes you happy? And how can I make you happy? And how can we be together forever? Those are the things we're asking, instead of saying, where do you see yourself? What do you want in a mate? Oh, what was your last relationship like? How did it end? Ask the hard questions, because without knowing those hard answers, you can't make a discerned decision.
That's right. And that's why we came up with the At the Root of It dating application.
Right.
Because we miss so much because we're so wrapped up in chemistry.
Right.
That compatibility don't make no sense.
Right.
You understand what I mean? And so you like somebody because they look good, they match what you want, they do. Oh, me, it's a clean cut dude, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be, you know, and I got my type, right? But if you don't believe in God, then that's a no-go for me, right? If he doesn't love on his kids, that's a no-go, because then you really gonna get mad at my conversation with my daughter every day at 9:00 in the morning. That's you know, right. You know what I mean? You're gonna be mad because I speak to my child faithfully every day. You know what I mean? So it's like certain things, like it's like we have to understand each other. Right. And if we're not trying to understand each other and it's just that chemistry, right, then it's, first of all, you wasting time, energy, and effort.
That was it right there.
A whole lot of time, energy, and effort. And it's kind of like you casting your pearls to swine.
That right there. When I first met my husband, my cousin said to me, you can't talk to him. You can't ask him those things. You can't tell him that. I told him I don't need a father for my child. I don't need someone that I can have sex with. I don't need someone, you know, I kept going down with what I don't need. I'm right. Looking for marriage. I'm ready for marriage. Now, I didn't want to force him into marriage, but I just need you to understand from the second day that this is what I'm looking for. This is my goal. So if you can't meet me in that goal, then we're wasting time. And at that time, when I was 36, I had no more time to waste.
Right.
For me, it was, and not that my clock was ticking, because I don't want any woman to get caught up in the fact that, oh, my clock is ticking. I got to find somebody to be with. No, it was where my level of mental was. You know, I had my son young. So yeah, I wanted a stable home for him, but he had a father. So I wasn't asking someone to be a daddy. I was just asking someone to be willing to come into this union, respecting the position that my son is, respecting the position that his father was, and let's create this world together. Let's create this loving environment that we can show our child. Because again, my child is your child, and if you don't come in under that, that's one of those prerequisites. If you can't come in under that guys, then
it's a deal. We come as a unit, you know.
We don't need to talk. We don't need to waste each other's time.
Right.
So it's like you have to go in knowing what you want and asking the right questions, because the more and more you don't ask the right questions, the more and more you're not getting what you want. And listen, ladies, listen. When that man tells you he don't want no more kids, believe him. When that man tells you that he don't want to take you to his mother, believe him. Everything he tells you, believe what he's telling you.
It's the truth.
Because it's the truth. If that man tells you he doesn't believe in getting married, listen to him. Now, he may eventually change his mind. But don't you sit there waiting.
Don't expect it. I'm about to ring the bell on you. Because, and I'm ringing the bell because I have been that one that has actually disregarded what a man said to me. And he actually was the one who actually propelled my growth, to be quite honest. And it's so crazy that someone that had the ability to hurt me in such a way also helped me in such a way to realize my shortcomings, realize what I wasn't bringing to the table, because he was very honest, right? But I just felt like, and I kept leaving him and coming back like, you gonna get it this time. You know I'm it, because I cook for you and I take care of you. And he ain't asked for all of that because his mother taught him how to cook. And he know how to take care of himself, right? But what he said was that I wanted the picket fence, right? I wanted the house and the picket fence, but he wants that corporation. Right. He don't want that small thing. My vision was too small for him. And when he said that, oh my God, was my feelings hurt. My feelings I was butt hurt. When I tell you I was hurt, I was hurt. Right. I was like, what? You don't know me. And then he had the nerve to tell me I was never in love before. Like, he was reading me the riot act. Like, I was like, you don't know me to say these things. But if we want to grow, right? If we want to grow, and I know I've loved before, right? But he said in love. And that's a big, big, big difference. And I had to realize, and that's when I had came into the knowledge that I had spoken certain things over my life earlier on after the big betrayal. That's what I'm gonna call it, the big betrayal, right? I spoke certain things over my life, which she was there at the big betrayal. She was my shoulder. She witnessed everything. She witnessed me have a breakdown, get it together, shake it off, then have a breakdown again, then shake it off. And what, she saw it, all of that, right? But I realized that I wasn't in love because I wouldn't allow myself to love, because the last time that I loved, I got betrayed. So I spoke those things over myself and then allowed it to consume my life for the majority of my life. I was cool. But when that man told me in 2020, in 2020, he got me right. I cried most of that year. When I tell you, and it was the hardest pill to swallow, but I thank him today. I even thanked him then. And I didn't even really believe that I wanted to thank him then. But I really thank him. Now, you know how you say, thank you, you really helped me. But in the back, you still butthurt. You know what I mean? But I really thank him, because not only did it push me to strive for something greater, now I want the building too. Now what? I don't want the building too because he wanted it. He made me strive to want something better than what I had. And with him telling me that stuff, it also healed a lot of things with my daughter. Because when he made me cry on certain things, he said, you didn't do enough. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. And I was like, you know what? He's right. He's right. And I had to get it together. So when my daughter said it, she thought she was going to have a fist fight on her hands. Like, man, you ain't going to be able to take this. But I grew past it because I understood it. So when she said it, I was like, I know you're right. She was like, are you my mother? And I said, but 2 years, we had this earlier this year. I said, but 2 years ago, it wouldn't have been this way, because God started working on me. So that we went all the way left with that. But she had to get herself together, and I had to get myself together. And I'm not all the way together, but she's been married for 13 years. So how have you sustained your marriage thus far?
I do. Well, from the beginning, I always said, now, I'm married to a younger man. My husband's 5 years my junior. And in me being married to him, first off, when I was ready for marriage, I said to him, look, I can't force you to be ready for what I'm ready for. So either you're in it or you're out of it. And we even broke up. We did that because, again, I don't want to force you into something that I ain't ready for.
Right.
So we got married in a year. We were married within the year. So we knew what we wanted to do from the beginning. We chopped it up until that year's end. At that year's end, we were married. Now, did we have enough happy moments to sustain our flight to our future? We didn't. So what I've always done from the very beginning is I've started creating our happy moments. So we would do things to create our happy moments. Every year, our anniversary, May 9th, 2009, that was my day. But every May 9th of every year, we travel. We travel the world. Got a map behind me. We travel the world. We pick another place in the world, and we just travel, and we create new moments. And I do that as a celebration that we made it another year. I have to celebrate those moments because I can't wait till 5 years and be like, oh yeah, let's celebrate that we've been together for 5 years. Because listen, that year was rough. So
Right.
how do we create a happy moment to say, oh, we made it that year, we got some more in us. And it's kind of our time to rejuvenate. We kind of go into every travel that we do as in a way that it's a renewal of everything that we love about each other. We say, all right, well, what do we want to do this next year? What do we want to do 5 years from now? What do we want to do? How do we want to be? Where do we want to be? We've discovered that, we want to travel. We want to, when we retire, we want to be able to go away. We want to be on a perpetual vacation.
Right.
So that's what we're building towards now. But it takes going to see these things. Huh?
I just need them to hear this lineup, y'all, and make sure you don't forget what y'all did when y'all did what y'all did where y'all was at. So keep going. You know what I'm talking about? You know, as you tell the places, you'll tell what happened in those places.
We visited Japan. Japan was our first excursion. We went to see his sister, but we saw some beautiful things. We recreated what we want. We know how to view life and what we want to see in our lives. We went to Dominican Republic. We've gone to Paris. We went to Egypt this year. So this year was our Egyptian trip, and phenomenal. We've been to Italy. We've traveled. We're going to be world travelers. That is what I'm proclaiming over our life. That's what I declare. We are world travelers.
She skipped something. So when she said that she went to Paris, right? Because I was so proud. I be living vicariously through her, but I was so proud because she did it as she always does. But they went to Paris on their 10th year anniversary, and they renewed their vows.
Yep.
Okay, so it wasn't just like, oh, we went to Paris and we had some crepes that I didn't like. No, they went, and I know she didn't like these crepes because we talked about it, right? But she went and they renewed their vows in Paris. Yeah. Beautiful, 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 beautiful burgundy. They was gorgeous. When I tell you, they were gorgeous. They do everything in style, and it was just like phenomenal. So I'm catching up because they're not leaving me this year. Well, not for their anniversary trip.
Yep.
But for the birthday trip, I'm going to Panama. I don't care. But
get in there.
I'm going. I don't care. I'm getting my passport, and I'm going to Panama, and we have money to buy some Panamanian gold. That's what I'm talking about. Right. But I'm just saying, like, I'm so proud of y'all. When I saw that they were in Egypt and they were by the pyramids and they were with the camels, and it was just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And look, wait, I'm ignoring so many people. Let's just bring them up real quick. So Dion said, understand that you have deal breakers and don't waver, right? Mm-hmm. Then Janae said, disregard, and we was talking. I'm so sorry, y'all. And then Dee said, we think we have the ability to change them.
We don't.
Okay, we can't change nobody. Dee said your worst pain can also show you your worth, and that's exactly what John did. He showed me my worth in it, and I'm not mad at him. I actually am grateful for him doing that. Toy said, in love versus I love you, and that is a show within itself, because a lot of people think that I love you is in love, and it's really not.
We talked about that too. Now, the understanding of what love is, we don't know what that is. It is not Disney love.
That's D saying, me too, I'm going to Panama. Look, Snap was like, passport, get your passport. He wrote it twice, get your passport. I'm gonna get the passport. Now, we want to jump on the subject at hand, and it was the care level, okay? Because Cynthia brought this up to me last week, and I thought that it was just an awesome point, because when we think that we want to be married, right? And some people have been married and no longer married and want to get married again. So they want to figure out what they did wrong, what they could possibly make sure that they don't do going in the next thing, because things happen, so we're not charging it to nobody's heart, but we just know that every opportunity is an opportunity to grow and to learn and to be a better you. So the care part, when you get into a relationship, what level of care do you have for your mate? And I was talking to Cynthia, and I had told her that I can really relate because I was engaged in 2013 and 14, and he was sick. And I knew that he was sick. He had chronic heart failure. And we've been through a lot of stuff. It was a lot of things that we had went through that was emotionally scarring, mentally scarring, physically scarring. And I had to be really realistic, right? So I sat there, and I even called who was my spiritual advisor, God rest his soul, Samuel Williams. But I had called him and I had asked him what I should do. And he said, well, if you're having these problems now, they're just going to get worse once you say I do. But I had to really ask myself, the question was, if I say I do, can I love him through his sickness? And y'all may think that I'm very, very cold when I realized that I couldn't. First of all, I didn't want to sign up to become a widow willingly, because I would have married him to become a widow within the next 6 months, right? Number two, with all the pain, and he wasn't all bad, but it wasn't all good. So with all of the things that had happened in our relationship prior to getting engaged, I didn't feel, I loved him. I did. I loved him. But I realized that I was not in love with him. So I could not possibly be that wife that stood by him in his time of need. I did not want to be selfish like that for the sake of saying that I was married. And so what I actually did was I actually pushed him back to the woman who he was in love with. And I just said, you know you love her. You know what I mean? Like, let's be realistic. You know you love her. Go be happy. While you have time to be happy, go be happy, because all we're going to do is argue. We was like oil and vinegar. You know what I mean? We just didn't, oil and water. We just didn't mesh. You saw the oil bubbles all over. But I told him, go to her. I'll help you get her. You know what I mean? I'll help you bring her back, because that's who you love. And Dion said, she sure did. Because I will not lie. I'm big on liars. I hate them, right? And I hate them because my Father in heaven hates them. He can't stand liars, right? He said liars can't tarry in his sight, so they can't tarry in mine. That's how I feel, right? So I would be remiss if that's the way that you say it, to take his ring, get married, knowing that I didn't love him to the capacity that he needed me to love him to his dying breath. And we get married, and I said all of that to say that because we get married, not even taking those things into consideration. Taking those things as, okay, we're able-bodied now, but we're gonna get older soon, and stuff may happen. And do we love that person enough to stay, to care for him the way that he deserves or she deserves to be cared for and loved on? Do we have the capacity to do that? That's when I think your love is tried. And what do you think? What do you think?
And so here we go. I think I don't think it was a bad thing. And see, what you did is you had an opportunity to know yourself prior to getting married. So there's two coins to this. So for me, you need to know your level of care when you get involved with anybody. How much are you willing to give? You have to be honest with yourself on say how much you're willing to give, because if you don't, when that trying time comes, you're going to wade in the water. And right. Again, another form of wasting your time and their time. But right. Let's say you got married. I got married, and we experienced a medical emergency of sorts. And again, I felt that I was too young to be cared for by my husband. I did. I felt like I was too young to be cared for by him. But the level of care he had for me superseded all of that. And that's year 2. That right. wasn't That wasn't, oh, we're old and gray and we're, he's taking care of me. That's year 2 we got into a scenario where, he had to take care of me. Now,
Yes.
and I had to ask myself, even then, I said, God, what is my level of care? Like, how can I do what he did for me? Like, this is a man that said, yo, if you got to go to the bathroom, I'm gonna take you to the bathroom. Now I know, I'm a me. First off, I'm an independent woman and always have been. I'm able-bodied and have been able-bodied for a very long time. So the
Right.
need a level of care was already out of my wheelbarrow. It was already out of there. But I had to ask myself, because one, this man was willing to do for me anything that needed to be done and didn't blink an eye.
Right.
Now, when we get married, we got to ask ourselves, what is our level of care? Because some accidents just are accidents. They're not something that's pre-planned. They're not something that's medical, that's a knowing medical condition.
Right.
It's a car accident and they crush up their leg and they can't walk anymore. What's your level of care? Are you willing to pick him up? Are you willing to hold him down? Are you willing to encourage him enough to get back on his feet?
Right.
If you're not, then you needed to have known that before you said, I do. And as a woman who wants to get married, you need to know what your level of care, what degree of care do you have for any given person? Because if you're not willing to give your all, you need to question yourself if you really want to waste their time.
Right.
Because as a wife right now, there is nothing that can happen to my husband that I'm not going to be right there.
Right.
It's not going to take no time for me to get there. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to think, oh, he's mad at me. Maybe I should just stay here and wait. No. I'm going to.
Johnny on the spot. Johnny on the spot. Oh, wait. Oh, what happened? Oh, I'm on my way. Oh,
and I'll
what?
be there as quick as whatever form is getting me there. That's how fast I'll be there.
Now, the thing is that I do that for my family. So if I marry somebody, do you know how I'm a loyal person, period. I don't know how to get unloyal. I don't know. I don't even when my hand calls for me to follow suit.
That's right.
My hand, I don't know how to not be loyal.
That's right.
So I'm running for anybody that I love. That's right. And I just said that I realized that in love was so far from me because I didn't allow it to penetrate. Yes. But my love holistically is that if you're hurt, I'm coming. That's right. If I have breath in my body, if I got the money, I got the time, I'm coming for you. I don't care. I'm gonna get there. Who said that?
It ain't even money. I'm gonna be there by hook or by crook. I'll be there.
I was gonna say, I will get there if you can. That's you can reach me by sailboat. That's right. Like an air. I don't know the words. Right. I don't care how you get there. Just get there if you can. There's a hills and mountains. Sweet. Okay, sorry. That's my song for tonight, y'all.
But those are questions that we got to ask ourselves. If we don't ask ourselves those questions, we're wasting everybody's time.
Yes. Yes. So. And you see what Toy said, any relationship is about what you're willing to sacrifice. Right. And a lot of times people think that the sacrifice once you're married has to be earned. No, bruh. You passed that earning stage, right? Right. Like, earn.
That's right.
I'm your wife.
You committed to that.
My husband. It's not about an earning thing. Now I need to get there. I need to be there. Yep. I need to be available mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And people are so emotionally immature, right? That they look the part, they act the part, and sometimes they even play the part. They might catch you.
That's right.
But then that facade falls.
That's right.
And then you're stuck. And we don't want to be stuck no more. We want to see the bells ringing and the flags flowing on the flag. Like we want to see all of that.
That's right.
And the only way that we can do that is be transparent. But the thing is that you gotta pick and choose who you're being transparent with. Because especially like it ain't nothing like when you was dating in 2009. 2009 still felt like the 90s to me, the way that you got busy. You know, the way that you and Busy met, it was still that type of atmosphere. It was still that type of, I don't know how to, I just call it a 90s vibe. You know what I mean? Like it was still that.
Yeah, I would hate to be in the dating pool today. And the reason that I would hate to be in the dating pool is because of social media, false impressions,
Yes.
the angles of the camera. There's just so many things that makes people not real. The inability to communicate. We've lost the ability to communicate. You know,
Right.
People don't have these conversations. Hence the reason that, you know, I saw them on social media. They look good. They got a platform of 10 million people. I want to be down. You want to be down? I want to be down. Let's be down. But then they break. And they're breaking because they're not built on anything with substance.
No solid ground.
Nothing.
It's all built on sand.
That's right. You have to create what you want.
Dad, Dion is going in. Dion's talking about, you're a fake baby. Alexander O'Neal.
That's right.
You're a fake. Then Toy said, imposters.
That's right. That's right. But we are too, sis. So don't, it's not just one-sided. We are both false people. Because
Right.
again, them camera angles, girl.
But see, born a man, now a woman. Like, we don't even know what we're dealing with no more. We don't even know.
That's right.
Let's say that. You know what I mean? We don't know. It's worse now. At least, and I'm not saying it like that. I'm not trying, and I'm not bigging anything up, or I'm not putting anybody down. But what I am saying is the men, first of all, back in, it was the early 2000s when Oprah had that guy on that wrote The Undercover Brother. She had him on her show, right? Early 2000s. And I saw that show. And boy, oh boy, that changed my whole perspective. I was thinking that all men was gay until proven straight. After that book came out, after he said what he said, because he was saying how they sneak and how they do everything undercover. And then it's random acts and in parks and then it's stuff. And then they're women.
Believe what they tell you. If you're asking the right questions, believe what they tell you.
Right.
Because they said something at some point down some aisle, down some alley, some memory in the far back that we pushed, that we questioned, but we didn't really question.
But we didn't pay attention to.
They told you.
The signs there.
Right. They told you who they were. Believe what they say. If we're believing what they say and believing what we're saying, because we gotta know what we want. If you don't know what you want, you just out there fishing in the sea, you're going to get what you're looking for.
And it ain't gonna be tilapia, because tilapia don't even live in that sea. Tilapia is
don't know. You don't know what you want. So when you go put your reel out there, they're gonna be a shoe, and you're gonna swear that it's the man of your dream. Look at this shoe, girl. Don't he look like he gonna be everything I want him to be? No, he's a shoe, girl. He's a shoe.
And it ain't a penny loafer. It ain't a gator shoe neither. You know, so it don't even have no substance to it. It is not like, it's just a regular old shoe. It ain't no, you know.
That's right.
But, you know, to know that we go into these situations and we are, I know that my problem was that I was in love with love so much that it sustained me, because the feeling that I thought that was love, right? If I had that, then it was fulfilling. Like I'm just a lover of love. So you show me the right amount of attention. You do certain things for me. That's love. I know you love me. And he's like, no, I don't. I really don't love you.
I barely like you. Here's another thing.
Barely like you. I really don't love you.
We don't know our roles. We don't know a role as a woman, and we don't know the role as a man. Neither of us know our role. So in us not knowing what our role is, because again, what has history consistently done is made a woman independent. It's made us independent. Oh, I'm an independent woman. If you like it, put a ring on it. You know, we are.
We make the same faces. I swear, I can't stand it.
You know, so we've been independent. We don't know how to be soft and pink when a man is actually trying to be a man that cares for his woman, opens the door. Yo, do you know how many men that I'm like, what you want? You open up this door. What you need from me?
Right.
Instead of just accepting the fact that he's trying to be a gentleman.
Right.
And why can't I, as a woman, gracefully say, thank you. I appreciate your gesture. Thank you. Soft and pink, like we're really women. Like we gotta know who we are. We gotta know what our role is.
Because, and this may sound really, really odd, really, really odd, but it may not. And either way, y'all take from it what y'all take from it. But I realized that I operated in masculine energy. Okay, so I was even brolic like a man. You feel me? Like my whole demeanor was mannish. Like Snap is on here. Snap would tell you, like I was the Tim's hoodie and jean chick. You know what I mean? I was the chick that if I wore heels, the block had to be bigger than this. It was no stiletto. It was a big behind heel, and it was coming off immediately. Makeup, what was that? You know what I mean? So I was very, very, very mannish in the sense of, full woman, but just mannish qualities.
Right.
I didn't act like I needed anybody, even though I did. But I didn't know how to portray that without feeling weak or thinking that I'm weak for showing that part of me. Because we've had to be strong for so long. Yes, Nana, it is the New York in me. And because it was the Timbs, it was. It really was. Right. Like, then when me and my sister decided to move out to Florida, I went to Payless and bought 2 pairs of heels. And I walked around my job like Peggy Bundy for a whole week on my tippy toes, because you remember she couldn't walk in her heels. I could not walk in these heels. But I realized then that I had no feminine, yes, Snap, the beef and problems. The beef and right? You know what I mean? I realized I had no feminine wiles. And I talk about Penelope Pitstop. The help! I didn't know how to do that, and I couldn't stand women who did that. But those were the women that had a man that was there to help her. Mm-hmm. She knew something that I didn't know, evidently. Right. And that's because I didn't understand what femininity really was.
Sis, my exodus, when I exited from New York and I moved to Albany, Georgia, sis, that was my awakening. Because for a complete year, I was not working. I tried to be a Susie Q homemaker. Mm-hmm. Now I know I don't like it, but during that time, I also had to teach myself, do your own hair, learn how to apply makeup, care about your appearance. Now I've always cared about my appearance, but that's not far-fetched. But think about, okay, the reason why I don't want to be in the dating field, in the dating world now, because these chicks out here right now, their faces are beat every single day. That was never me. Yeah. That was never me. The degree of clothes that they wear, or the lack thereof that they wear, to get the men that are out there, that's not me. So no, I would not want to be in the dating field right now. But I also learned a thing. I learned a thing when I exited. I learned that I've got to put the time in taking care of myself.
Yes.
My husband likes me without makeup, but I wear it because, I want him to look at me and be like, that's mine.
Right.
I want to I care about what I'm wearing because I want him to say, you look good over there. I want him to look
Right.
across the room and really be like, yeah,
Right.
I got something.
That's me right there.
You see
That's
what I'm saying?
me.
And I might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I know I'm his. So I don't have to keep everybody's eye. I have to keep his eye.
Right.
And see, when we're single, we should have learned this, I feel, somewhere along the line that, we do have to take care of ourselves. We can't expect to just luck upon our dream man because it doesn't happen like that. We didn't realize that there was work to love because we watched these fairy tales where the woman saw the man across the room and then they were instantly in love. But that's not what it is. It takes work. Just like everything else we do. We go to work, we have to work. We have faith, we have to work. There's works to it. Everything we do, we have to work for it. And it's not to say that the action of us working is getting us what we want, but the action of us working, there is fruit to it.
Right.
Me taking care of me appreciating, I love me. I have to love me before he can love me. So when I look at
are the one, listen, y'all gotta understand just how vital she was to the confidence of Shannon. All right. And it was by watching her. Because I swear, I would see this girl get in the mirror and be doing her makeup. I'm like, oh, you are so cute, girl. You doing it, girl. She picked herself up that nobody had to do it because she did it herself. So when she walked out of the house, she didn't need nobody to tell her she looked good. She knew she looked good. And she walked like she knew she looked good. Her head was held high, her back was straight, and she was walking like she knew who she was. And that was back in 2003. Right. Okay. So and she was like that before then. Because she came to us like that. It wasn't like she developed over time. No, this was sin. Oh no. And she clothes, style, everything. She was just on it. And she made and I was bigger than two. I was like my biggest at the time, like 22, 24. And that was the biggest I've ever been in my life. And she helped me to embrace that part of me. So it's just a lot. Right. A lot that goes into it. But if you don't love yourself and you waiting for a man to tell you how beautiful you are or how special you are, you're going to be waiting. And they may just tell you, but they're going to tell you to get in your pants. They're going to tell you because they want something. It's a cause and an effect.
That's right.
They tell you they tell you that you look nice, you're beautiful, and you're all of this stuff. That is the cause. Okay, now I have caused her to feel all of these emotions. What's the effect? The effect is she's going to give me anything I ask her because I done stroked that little ego of hers because she's vain anyway, and she just wants somebody to pay attention to her. Mm-hmm. But vanity gets you nowhere. You know what I mean? And it gets you left.
And I told you, beauty at your level.
And maybe sometimes not, because sometimes men like that.
That's right.
Some like those superficial women that like to be that person that likes to be seen but don't have no substance, don't have no qualities, don't have no goals, don't have no aspirations, don't love God, love themselves more than they love anybody else. They stick with these chicks. You know what I mean? They stick with these chicks and then wonder why they going through the motions behind what they chose. And it's because we all have a type. Now, I'm not talking about the type because, of course, I have a type. But my type has proven to me that they're all dogs and they have fleas. Now, I mean, that's what my type has shown me. And this is over the years. It has shown me that this type of person that has these attributes operate this way. Now, am I making a blanket statement? Of course not, because I'm only one person. But I'm just saying the people that I met proved to be the same type of way. But now, am I going to say it's them? Or could it have been me?
Got to look at you first.
It could have been me because I just came into realization of myself 2 years ago.
That's right.
So was it really them?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it the lack in me that I didn't even see?
Right.
And because we don't tap into ourselves the way that we need to tap into ourselves and be as real. I mean, to thine own self be true. We can't be true with ourselves. I really believe that you're faking the funk with everybody else. I don't care what nobody say. Oh yeah, I keep it real with everybody, but you can't keep it real with yourself. So how dare you say you keep it funky? You can't keep it funky with you can't handle the truth for your own self. That's right. Let alone from anybody else. Until you can accept it and not get angry when somebody point out your faults, then I'll say that you kind of made it. You know what I mean? But if you can't look at yourself and even laugh at yourself, like, yo, you know, I think that's...
Yeah. See, I try to learn
talk about me.
You should be able to internally look at every situation you're ever in, and you should learn something from it. And if you're not reflecting on yourself enough that you learn from every situation that you're in, you're doing yourself a disservice. And I say you're doing yourself a disservice because you need to learn, like, I was in this relationship. What did I like about this relationship? What drew me to this relationship? What was a con for me in that relationship? Because you're just going to repeat it if you don't take that time to reflect.
You don't take that time to reflect.
If you're in a continuous rotation trying to get back with somebody, anybody, you're going to continually get the same anybody, somebody, because you're not taking any time to reflect on what it is you want.
Right.
Be true to you.
And I'm so dumb because every time I say something, I have a song. And I said, really want, and I just heard Spice Girls. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. But you know what I mean? I just, like, you won't get the fullness of your heart. See, God said in Psalms, right? He says, if you delight yourself in me, I will give you the desires of your heart, which means that it's obtainable, okay? To actually have the desires of your heart, which will also line up with the desire he has for your heart too, right? And I heard that preached, and I thought that was very, very good. But when we delight ourselves, and I'm not pushing my beliefs on anybody, but I'm just telling you that when you delight yourself, that he will give the desires of your heart. And I've seen God work miracles. You know,
I pray for everything about my husband.
Huh?
I prayed for everything about my husband. I literally had a prayer. I said, God, I want. It said, write the vision and make it plain, right? So I wrote down what I want, you know, and, you know, of course, there's some things I didn't pay attention to. There's some things, you know, that I say to myself, maybe I should have. But the reality is, you got to write the vision, make it plain. What is it that you're looking for? If you know what you're looking for, it makes it easier to see it when you come upon it. It's not just a ship that passes through the night like, I missed it. You'll miss a lot of boats that way.
Right. And I think we miss a lot of boats too because of chemistry and not looking for the compatibility. We miss a lot of boats because, oh, she looked good, but her heart nasty. What I tell you, what I say, somebody reminded me of A Beautiful Nightmare. Because you have such a beautiful face, but your spirit is such a nasty nightmare. And because we can't, if God enhanced our vision for us to see the spirits behind people, them faces and that makeup wouldn't say nothing.
Okay.
What Nana say? I said, Nene, Nana. Oh, he said Beyonce. Yes, that's Beyonce, and it makes it easier to know what you don't. Yes.
Right.
Yes. It was a sweet dream or a beautiful nightmare.
Right.
And guess what? There's a lot of men and women out there that's portraying to be sweet dreams. And they're really beautiful nightmares. And so they have to, you have to be able to discern, and you have to be able to get to the root of you and understand what your triggers are, what the things that will keep you stagnant or will progress you forward. Because see, when you're weak-minded, right, there's men that prey on weak-minded women.
That right there.
There's men who look for the type of woman that may have insecurities about
That right there.
themselves, that don't love themselves, because they know if they don't love themselves, I can treat her any kind of way because
That's
she don't love
right.
herself. But if she loves herself, oh, now she's too strong. She's too independent. She's a know-it-all. She's just not gonna allow you to do the things that you thought you was gonna do. So she was all of these bees and these holes and these this and these that because she was not gonna allow you to use her another time again. Because you was a beautiful dream, a sweet dream, and now you are a beautiful nightmare. I have good memories and I have bad memories. I have these memories where I wish I shoulda, coulda, woulda, and then I have these dreams that I wish I shoulda, never, coulda, woulda.
That's right.
You understand what I mean? And we just really have to just be mindful. And look, sis, it's the hour. Look how quick, yo. But I'm just saying that at the end of the day, y'all, that when we're out here in this dating pool, we have to really be understanding to what we're really asking God to bless us with. Right. We have to make sure that we are in the right mindset, the right heart space, and the right spirit mindedness to really be able to live out our lives with our spouses. Because I know when I get married, I'm not getting divorced. So if you mad, you better go sleep on the couch and I'll make you a pork chop. You feel me? You better sit down somewhere because you ain't going nowhere. And that's how I feel. That's what it's going to be. You want a pork chop? You want a big piece of chicken? I got the chicken. You feel me? So I just know that these shows are helpful. And I just want to point out some of the things that Cynthia said. Cynthia said, and Toy reiterated it, so I'm gonna bring it back because she reiterated what Cynthia said. Where is it? Number one, keep your man's attention. She said, keep his attention. Do what you need to do to make him want you. Not everybody out there, but if he like you with I don't know. If I don't know.
Like you with long hair, get long hair. If you don't, then don't.
Right. If he like you in it, do it more often. If he don't like it, don't do it. Keep your man happy, right? Then she talked about renewing her, like for me paraphrasing, it's renewing their marriage, their love for each other by traveling and seeing something new and experiencing something new together. I think that everybody should really put that into play because there's so many people that have not been even out of the state of Florida or whatever state that they're in, or that they've only been to families' houses but never been to any place that they can say, wow, I experienced something that I've never experienced before. And I'm one of those people. I've only been up and down the East Coast, but baby, next year is different. I'm going to Panama. I don't care, right? I don't care. I'm going. But just know that time spent together rejuvenates.
Right.
It rejuvenates your relationship. It rejuvenates the love that you have for each other. Now y'all have created that more, memories. You created the memories, and you have something to look back on. Right. And say, babe, remember when we did that? That was so fun. Remember when we did that? Or when you get mad and you be like, oh, I can't stand it. But remember when we did that?
That's right.
And remember, you heard the tone and how everything changed. Right. It was like, babe, remember when we did? But when you fighting, right? And that was your main reason, right?
Right.
When you fighting, I can't stand that Niagara.
Exactly.
And I'm ready to fight that ninja.
Right.
And then you say, but remember when we...
That's right.
Remember when he helped me do this?
Mm-hmm.
And I got pictures to show.
That right.
And I got videos to remind me.
That right there.
Because today is just today.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean forever. You know what I mean? You fight for what you believe in, and you fight for your love. So know who you getting involved with, because if they're not willing to wipe your butt, they ain't the one for you, because ain't nobody getting younger.
That's right.
If they ain't gonna stand 2 doors down for you when you're sick, they only standing when you up, then they don't need to be around you.
That's right.
That's why I have my friends. I have really good, close sister friends, and Snap. He's not a sister, but he's one of my bestest friends, and we talk about everything. And you have to have a sounding board to have people around you that can help you in those times. And one of the things I think Tifa said was, and maybe it was you too. I think you might have said this, sis, when you were saying how, you know, married people need to hang around married people.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You said
fortify yourself with someone who's going through what you're going through.
mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that you can't have single friends, but if you're fortifying yourself with like-minded people who are going through what you're going through, it makes it easy to get through it.
Right.
Instead of going to a single friend that's like, hey girl, hey, and wants to tell you something that's outside of your marriage. They can't help you. They don't know where you're at right now.
Right.
Not saying they can't help you with anything. I'm just saying that when you're going through, sometimes
marital issues, you need married people to help you.
Right.
And that's why I'm formulating my group now, because I declare and decree that I am going to get married.
Amen.
And I'm going to have my sister friends close to me to tell me, all right, Shannon, we already talked about this. Go back and look at your show. You mad?
Amen.
Last week, what I learned, I think Sabrina taught me last week, patience. She said, baby, you got to have patience. You just be giving up on the goals. I'll be like, you're out. Get out of here. I don't give nobody no, you know, but the willingness and things of that nature. So I just, I take that, what I take from this show is to know who I want and really want them, and really think that when I get involved with somebody, to ask myself, will I be willing to wipe his behind? And if the answer is no, and it may just be no at that time, you know, but don't ask yourself that too prematurely. Give yourself some time.
Exactly.
You know? And if the answer is still no, then it's no, sis. It's no, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
You know? All right, y'all. We made it. We made it an hour. I love you. I love you so very much, again, for gracing us with your presence. You have brought up so many different topics and so many things that we can continue to talk about. But I'll call you next year around this time, and then we do it again.
Thank you.
Okay? Because she don't like to talk, y'all, but she's so articulate and eloquent in her speech that she speaks so profoundly, and she has so many jewels. She hates talking. So I'm going to get her next year. But I love y'all, and I love you. Thank you so much for being on At the Root of It. I want you guys to tune in next week. We still at it. We still on this roll. So we're going to get right. We're going to get healed in the process, and we're going to really identify the areas in our lives that need to be healed so that we can have healthier relationships. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of being single. Give me some hearts in the chat if y'all tired of being single too. If you're tired of being single, you want to know what the antidote is to not being single, tune in next week. We're going to tap into that. And my title for next week is like, are you his peace? P-E-A-C-E. Or are you his peace? P-I-E-C-E. Tune in next week. We will continue the same bad station, same bad time, every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Please go to our YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know whenever we go live. It does not cost you a thing, but it will surely help us in our broadcast. We thank you so very much. Till we meet again, love you, sis. Thank you so much for being on the show. Bye, y'all. Love y'all. See you next week.
Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it. Ow.
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. Take over starts at the root. the truth may be hard to swallow. Step one, self-love above anything else.